talking about teams that, well, winning or losing or might struggle. Manchester United, certainly after last season. What do you reckon this year?
I find it extraordinary the amount of money that Manchester United have spent and not been able to put a team together. And the managers that they've picked, they've been given the money, they've been given the opportunity, Mick. And for yourself and myself who have been in the game, that's all you want is backing. And with that backing, I would back myself to be successful if I'd have had the backing and the amount of money that the club have given. The owners take a lot of stick and everything else about stuff that's going on and everything else. They're not a club that hasn't been backed financially, Mick.
It's going back to you mentioned it earlier on, though.
Yeah.
The recruitment. Who is doing the recruitment? So Ten Hag apparently has been sacked today. The players that he brought in, he spent a lot of money as well. Did that work? Did those players? I mean, I see those. There's quite a few of those players that they've gone out of the team already.
Well, there's a lot they're loaning out
because
they
can't sell. Is it hard to play for Manchester United, people? I doubt it very much. I reckon I could have gone in and played for Man United.
Well,
and loved every minute of it.
Yeah, we would. But I think there's a lot of players out there.
I'm on about playing, not managing.
Yeah, no, I'm on about playing as well. There's a lot of players I think can play for the smaller clubs. So-called smaller clubs in the Premier League, but then go to Man United. I think Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. Them and Madrid are the two biggest clubs in the world.
Barcelona.
But to go in there, Mick, you've got to have mental strength as well. It's not just the ability to play. You've got to have that mental strength to actually stand up when things are not going well and fight your way through it. And I'm not sure, that's come into play very often. It's a fabulous club. You've managed against Sir Alex. I've managed against Sir Alex. That club and those teams that we played against, they were all great players. But my God, did they work? You're going right back to Kanchelskis and Giggs and people like that playing wide. They made Gary Neville a better player than what he is because of the way they work back and help him defensively. And I think Gary would most probably be the first one to say that.
That's a team because not every player in all right. They might take Paris Saint-Germain at the minute and Barcelona for a while and Real Madrid. But not every good team that's won something has got 11 top players. There'll be some workaday players.
Well, I just think, if you look at it, did Scholes run around and tackle? My God, did he?
Yeah.
And so all those players you're talking... the first and foremost,
but it's the others,
they represented.
The scrappers, the fighters, help all the good players.
They represented Manchester United, and they were obliged.
They were brilliant.
They were obliged because I think of the leader of the group. They were obliged. The first thing, don't get whatever happens outworked, outrun, or outmuscled, and their ability then took over from that because they had both.
Yeah.
And I think what's happened is, if you look at it, I think they've signed a lot of players who technically have been very, very good players at other clubs, but have they had that steel and that backbone that United need? I'm not sure, Mick.
But anyway, we're giving Ten Hag stick. There's somebody else. There's the signings he's made. Well, we're not giving him stick. We're analysing it, to be honest. That's a bit unfair on him. We're on about Amorim now coming in. And I was delighted when he got the job. And I looked at his team when he's playing with Sporting Lisbon, and they were right at it. He comes in, he plays the same way. He's playing the system he plays. It doesn't look to be working.
There's one point I'd like to make on that. I think the Portuguese league is different to the Premier League. I think in the Portuguese, if you've got the best team that year, and it goes in cycles, Ajax will have it in Holland quite a lot, Sporting Lisbon, Benfica and those teams. If you're with you most probably play 4 games a season, 5 games a season. The rest of the time, you're playing teams who are below a mix, so they're not used to managers coming in. Some of them, not all of them. Or you look at Mourinho, was unbelievable, and you can roll off others. But again, it's looking at the character of the managers. Can the managers go from having the best and outplaying teams every week in the Portuguese league to stepping into the Premier League and then taking on teams every Saturday, Mick, are well organised and are set up.
You said something about the Football League, the whole of the Football League. It's the best structure all around the world ever. It doesn't happen here that the top teams in the Premier League are guaranteed to go to the bottom teams of the Premier League and win. But as you're saying in Portugal, in Holland, in places like maybe Same with the Championship. Championship teams go to the bottom of the table and they can get scalped as well.
Oh, yeah.
Same as in Division 1, Division 2. They are...
What I'm saying is, I'm not having a go at Amorim for the way, people say his system and this, that and the other. He's got an identity. He wants to put an identity on the football club. What I'm saying is they have to understand. Yes, it's Manchester United. And it's even more important for Manchester United. They have to have players who are prepared to roll their sleeves up when they're under pressure and things are tough and see it through. And I don't think, personally, the one thing I've seen over the past few years, yes, they brought in good footballers. Have they got that team and have they got that spirit, desire that wins football matches?
For me, it's a given in any team because that's where your team's at it. Your players had it. They ran around. If they didn't run around, if they didn't tackle, if they didn't head it, if they didn't do all the basic things, they wouldn't play. And same as my teams. Then you've got to try and get them to play a little bit better. And you and I would have been labelled with a bit of a tag that's our teams were a bit boring, a bit, but we won games. And we might have won games that we shouldn't have won because of the way the teams played, the teams reacted. And you're right, when you go to a place like Manchester United, and I'll say, I went to Celtic to play, and you expected there, to win. So I'm not equating it to anything else, and it's the league in Scotland. But I was amazed how, when I went in there, it was you win. You go to St Mirren, you go to Hibernian, you go to Hearts, and it wasn't about getting a draw or scrapping a draw. We went there and we had to win the game.
Yeah.
And it was at one point the lads would be saying, shall we nip in somewhere else and nick the points off them as well? But it was the first time I'd played at a club. We all want to win. We all try our best to win. You are expected to win.
And that's the difference.
There's a difference.